Good evening, Rowan. It's Monday, and I'm in my sun hat because it's still kind of bright out, but I didn't want to put sunglasses on the video. Let's see what the garden is up to. So, we're here at the top of the stairs into the house. So this is bed one, in my brain at least. This is bed one. And this bed has the most exciting update that you cannot see when I'm this far away. But if I bring you down, it's corn! Little corn sprouts. There's a couple more over there and down the bed. And I'm so happy. I'm so relieved to have corn sprouts because I was getting so worried that none of them were going to come up, or maybe something had dug them out and eaten them. But here they are. So hopefully they survive. There's also a couple other things in this bed. Sunflowers. My next thing that is always going to be on my must grow list. I threw a couple different varieties in here in this little corner, just for some different colors. And then here is some basil finally popping up. And I think that's all we've got. I've got marigolds that I bought at the nursery that you'll see peppered throughout, and then these purple flowers as well. There's some more basil in the ground here, and sunflowers hasn't come up yet. And then this trellis here is going to be cucamelons if they come up, fingers crossed. And then this little purple flower, the tag said hummingbirds really like it, so I bought it because why not? I love hummingbirds. I love having them around. I tried to put up a hummingbird feeder and the ants just went haywire on it, so that was not a good idea. So I'm hoping that these flowers help. A couple of the blooming bushes and one of the trees in the back that we have also get hummingbirds, but typically not until later in the season. So hopefully this helps. Alrighty. Bed number 2. We finally have tomatoes in the ground. It's so exciting. So let me take you through what varieties we have, and some thoughts on them. Again, I've got marigolds here. Then there was this lemon thyme that I found at the nursery, and I love thyme. It's my favorite herb. It's got a little bit of variegation to it, and I just couldn't pass it up. So we grabbed that. So you can see here, I kind of alternated the plants as we go through down the trellis. So that way, hopefully they get good airflow and they can kind of, get wide, but not hurt each other. So here we have Matt's Wild Cherry. I have not grown that before, but it's a multiflora cherry, so I'm really excited about that. San Marzano. Blueberries, I haven't grown those either. What's on the other side? Oh, yellow pear. So all the cherry varieties are first time growing those. Amish paste. Can't remember. Paul Robeson, which I loved. That was my first fruiting tomato last year and one of my longest as well. And then mushroom basket, which is new, but the fruits just looked really cool. So try that out. And then here on the end, we're gonna have cucumbers on the middle trellis and on the side here. So this arch is going to be Armenian cucumbers up one side and cucamelons up the other. And so I'm excited to try those out this year. This end of the bed here and this end, as you can see, gets afternoon shade. And last year I had my cucumbers in afternoon shade and they did really, really well. So that's why I put them on the end here. And then this trellis here, this little guy, is going to be noodle beans. So I've got those in the ground. They haven't come up yet. So that will be noodle beans. And then the whole bed here is mostly okra. Eventually some peppers will go into this bed, I've got some flowers, some more sunflowers here on the end, and then that trellis will be Kajari melon. And then I've got flowers here on this end. The house bed is getting squashed this year. I was thinking about doing a whole bunch of flowers over there, but then just because squash plants get so big, I wanted them in a place where they could really bush out. And so we've got flowers on the end, and we've got the tiniest little okra sprout coming up finally. And then our last bed, more tomatoes. So on the end here, this is the only bed that has a ground cherry in it. And I actually need, man, the ground cherries and the tomatillos are just wanting to set fruit so badly. So I'm having to continuously pick that off. But I got two on the end here. These stay real bushy, but they put out a ton of fruit and it's so good. Highly recommend them. And then this is mostly slicers in this bed here, so they're a little bit farther apart. I've only got 4 on this side instead of the 5 up there, but we've got Old German, which is new, Dr. Witchy, which I grew last year, love. Black Verisage, I think is actually more of like a paste size. I got the seeds for free. I grew it last year and it put out a ton of tomatoes, but I think either they were too heavy or something got to the plant because they broke off and fell before they were ripe, so I didn't get to really harvest any. So we're giving those a try again. Abe Lincoln over there, probably my favorite tomato from last year. Ton of fruit, really good. Plant did great. And then we've got Mortgage Lifter, which I have not grown before, but of course everybody loves and raves about, so we're gonna try it. And then the triple crop there, which I also really liked last year. And then I've got 4 tomatillos here on the end, which, oh my gosh, there's another flower opening, which I did grow last year, but one of my plants died. And so I didn't get any fruit off of it because I didn't, look at this. I just planted these out and these buds, I thought I got all the buds off and that was already opening. That's how, it's crazy. But tomatillos need 2 plants to pollinate, so I didn't get any fruit last year from them. So hopefully this year we do. I've got some borage starts that I bought at the nursery on the end here, and some more flowers. And I think that's everything that you haven't seen. All the potatoes here on the front. I need to hill some of these up. We've got these bags that are on the stairs. I eventually want to move off the stairs to the other side of the beds, I think, or to this little part over here that doesn't really have grass. It's just all like low, like clover and stuff. Move them over there so that they're not on the stairs anymore. But we've got garlic in some of them. I had extra ground cherry plants and I couldn't not plant them because the ground cherries are just so good. So, and this one's got a flower open, my goodness. So I put the extra ones in those that I had. Potatoes, garlic. First time growing garlic. Very excited. Can't wait to see what's going on. It seems like it's going well so far for me. I put some squash in extra ones as well. This is all, let's see if I can get down here. Da-da-da. This is all chamomile that reseeded itself. I had chamomile in this container last year. It didn't really do very much. It didn't put off very much. There's a bunch of these little helicopters are everywhere in my garden right now. Yeah, it didn't really put off very many flowers. I didn't really harvest any of them. I just kind of let it do its thing. And it exploded into this container. And I was actually trying to cycle out all of these plastic containers from stuff that I had in, except for the herbs up on the deck. And now I can't because it's just too beautiful to get rid of. So we'll leave that and let that do its thing. More garlic. I've got hardneck and softneck garlic. So I'm very excited to get garlic scapes. soon, hopefully. This is my arugula that went to seed and is just too pretty and too fun to rip out yet. Eventually something is gonna go in there. I don't know what. Anyways, I just like to see what plants do when they go to seed, when they are left to their own devices. But yeah, that's what we got. And we got more potatoes up here. This is where the cucumbers were last year, and they did really well. After everyone else was telling me that their cucumbers had died away, we were still getting a lot of good fruit. So excited about having the cucumbers in the afternoon shade there for when it's really hot. But let me see if I can get you a good view. Yay! That is week 2 here in the garden. I cannot wait to see what it becomes when these trellises are completely filled with tomatoes. I'm glad that all of your stuff survived the frost. And here's to, fingers crossed, peppers going in the ground soon and massive pepper harvest for both of us.